I felt like a complete outsider living in this country.
そろそろ私も寿命かしらね。お金はないし、諦めるしかないのかしら。
I'm gonna die soon, but I don't have any money, so I'll just let time take its toll. A young woman living near the orphanage accepted death like it was nothing, and died shortly thereafter.
ただいま。ようやくリダイバーになることができたよ。
I'm home. It took a while, but I'm finally a reliver. A Korean man returned home a few days after his death, like nothing happened. They were terrifying. The people of this country treated death as though it meant nothing. I regretted from the bottom of my heart that I ever drifted to a place like this. I can understand the terror of that. Because it's like, to a normal human, the way this country works just isn't normal. My mind was spinning. I wasn't even sure how much time I needed to fully understand what was happening. Adolf is the second drifter? A person who came from the outside country? He was so healthy that he never once exhibited symptoms from the curse. He never died, no matter how close he was to me. He told me before that I didn't need to bother getting rid of the curse for him. It wasn't because Adolf was just lucky or possessed unique powers. Everything was because the curse didn't affect him. Adolf still had his head down, and didn't refute Capuchin's words. But he was clenching his fists so tightly that I could see the strength that he still had in his body despite being submerged in toxins. His very state was evidence that what Capuchin said was true.
呪いで死なないという自覚があったということは。
So he knew he wouldn't die from the curse, which means...
君、21歳というのは大嘘だね。実際に23年以上生きなければ確信できるはずがない。
You must not actually be 21 years old. Surely your conviction must come from a life longer than 23 years.
だったら、なんだって言うんだ。
It doesn't matter to you. Adolf finally admitted that Capuchin's accusations were correct. Adolf... Adolf's throat tensed up when he heard me say his name. His voice was filled with hopelessness. It didn't sound anything like earlier.
素晴らしい。まさかこんな短期間でこんなにも希少な検体が手に入るとは。
This isn't gonna be good for him. There's a reason why Yvez's ancestor, that the first drifter, went into hiding. Amazing. I never expected to find such a rare subject in short amount of time.
やつも喜んでくれるだろう。やはり天はシアンではなく、私を愛し、味方しているに違いない。
I'm sure he's gonna be very pleased. I knew the heavens loved me and that Scion. They must be on my side. Capuchin laughed with joy. But in the next moment, his expression changed back to his usual seriousness.
呪いが効かない上、どういうわけかあの男の細胞への拒否反応もなかったとなると、これは使えそうだな。
But if the curse doesn't affect him, and he isn't showing any side effects from that man's cells, this is interesting. The moment Capuchin waved his hand, the royal guard and his followers quickly. This reads weird. The moment Capuchin waved his hand, the royal guard and his followers quickly... what? They quickly what?
使い捨てのつもりだったが予定変更だ。第二の漂流者と分かった以上、君には
There's gotta be some kind of little text thing going on there. Translator, you missed something? I was gonna use you until you became useless to me. But things are different now. I know you're the second drifter, so...
私たちに先立って不老不死を実現させるための被験体になってもらおうか。
I will have you be a test subject for me, to see whether gaining eternal youth in life is possible or not.
代償として人としての姿は失うかもしれないが、それはそれで一興だ。
Of course, you might change here and there during testing, but that would prove interesting as well. What? Hearing my response, Adolf, who had been keeping quiet, slowly raised his head.
被験体ね。どうせ拒否権なんぞないんだろうが。
A test subject. I doubt you give me the option to refuse, but...
その前にカプシーヌ交渉をしないか。
Before that, how about we strike a deal, Capuchin?
交渉
A deal?
この先セレスが受ける予定の実験を可能な限り俺に回せ。
Moving forward, I want you to conduct whatever experiments you are planning for Ceres on me.
この条件を飲むのなら逃げも抵抗もせず全ての実験をおとなしく受け入れると約束する。
If you agree, I promise I'll cooperate with all your experiments without question. I had a feeling he'd say something like that. Adolf, what are you saying?
お前は黙ってろ。
You be quiet. Of course I won't. Your conditions are... Hearing me try to stop Adolf was deliberately misinterpreted by Capuchin.
そうだね。条件としてはいささか弱い。実験のたびに暴れられるのは確かに困るが、せめてもう少し私たちに利益がなければ。
I agree with you. Your conditions are weak. It would be a pain to have you resist each experiment, but I need more convincing.
俺が覚えている外の国の技術についての情報も加える。どうだ？
Then how about I tell you information about the technology used in the outside world? Capuchin was impressed. He seemed to take an interest in the added condition.
いいだろう。しばらくはその時間稼ぎに付き合ってあげようじゃないか。
Very well. I suppose I can go along with your attempt to buy time for now?
普通の人間がいかなる生命なのか。どうか私が満足するまで付き合っておくれ。
I am very curious about how normal humans live. I do hope you will be thorough. Capuchin ordered the soldiers to take the princess back to her quarters once the blood had been drawn. Adolf and I were going to be separated again. I came to my senses and spoke out against it. Wait, Adolf! Don't just go off on your own. I don't need you to...
セレス、反抗する時を間違えるな。
Now is not the time to resist. Adolf calmed me with a low voice that no one else could hear.
俺とお前が同時に実験を受けたら、身動きが取れる奴がいなくなる。
If they experiment on us at the same time, we're both done for.
もう一人、助けたい家族がいるんだろ。
There's one more family member you want to save, right? I couldn't object to Adolf's reasoning. Once I was shown to the public, they would use me as a test subject. But if I angered Capuchin now, or if something happened to me, I would have no hope of saving Adolf or Anko anymore. Which was why he was sacrificing himself so I could remain safe. Adolf offered himself, knowing what needed to be done. I understood, but that didn't mean I agreed with him. Before I could tell him anything, the armored soldiers grabbed me by the arm and forced me to stand up. They dragged me toward the door to the joint laboratory. Adolf!
心配すんな。死ぬつもりはない。お前もしょっちゅう俺が丈夫だと口にしてるだろ。
Don't worry. I have no intention of dying. You're the one who keeps reminding me of how healthy I am.
まあ、長年裏切っていた男の言葉なんて信じる気にはならないだろうが。
Well, not that you believe someone who betrayed you all this time. That's not... Before I could tell him it wasn't true, the door ruthlessly closed in front of my face. Why? Why is he saying that? It was true I was surprised by the revelation. I was also a little upset that he didn't tell me such an important thing sooner. But I've never once thought that you betrayed me. Adolf's life, from then onward, became nothing but torture. I was locked in my cell yet again. They went to trouble of showing me images of Adolf undergoing the most inhuman experiments. Inhumane. They modified his genes with Anko's cells, without anesthesia, which caused enough pain to drive anyone to madness. I could hear his silent scream from the images he was submerged in, as he was submerged in the toxin-filled capsule. He was injected with a variety of drugs and suffered from their side effects. Just when he thought he was finally released, his flesh was cut open so that they could collect large amounts of blood. Stop. Stop, please, just stop. I could see what he was going through, but the only thing I could do was plead for mercy that they wouldn't be granted. Stop. I'll bite my tongue off if you don't stop. If only I could actually scream that. but I can't. Adolf told me himself that it wasn't time for me to resist. I needed to act like a cowardly girl and wait until the day came when I could finally catch them off guard. It would be 3 days later when I would meet him again. I wasn't sure how many times he convulsed from the pain or passed out completely. Seeing my foster brother treated this way was heartbreaking and nearly made me snap. A sudden sound made me look up. Adolf was in horrible condition as they threw him behind the iron bars of the prison cell. Adolf! The rope in my arms was getting in my way, but I somehow lifted the limp Adolf onto my arms.
経過観察のため、明日の朝まで実験は休止する。
I'm gonna pause the experiments until tomorrow morning and observe the results.
同じ牢屋への投獄を許可されたカプシーヌ様の恩情に感謝するのだな。
You should appreciate Dr. Capuchin's kindness and allowing you to have him in your cell. After hearing the soldier's footsteps disappear, I quickly shook Adolf. Adolf! Adolf! Can you hear me? He was out cold. The thin bandage that barely covered his wounds was soaked in blood. I somehow held back my tears, seeing him in such terrible condition. I took a few deep breaths. I gently rested Adolf's head on my lap, so that his body was at least in a relaxed position. I wiped away the sweat that appeared with each weak breath he took, until... I mean, he doesn't look great, but, you know, at least he's not, At least they didn't do anything to him that, like they did to Nadia. Adolf's eyelids twitched, and he slowly opened his eyes. His dim golden eyes reflected my face.
お前がいるってことは冥界に行かずに済んだってことか。
The fact that you're here means I didn't end up in Hades. Don't even joke about that. His weak voice made my heart wrench. A single teardrop fell from my eye and rolled down Adolf's cheek. I gently brushed his hair from his forehead. So it's true. Adolf, you really aren't from here. You're a normal human, the kind Nadia dreams of. Does anyone else know about this?
マムは知ってる。海岸に流れ着いた俺を拾って育てた張本人だからな。
Mother knows. She's the one who found me when I washed ashore and raised me.
俺が23になっても死なないと分かった時は心底驚いてたが、正体を隠すのに協力してくれた。
When she learned I could live past the age of 23, she was surprised, but she agreed to keep it a secret. So, how old are you?
ガキの頃の記憶に違いがないなら25年。
Okay, so barely a difference. If I've been keeping track properly since I was a kid, I'm 25 now. That old? That's still a baby. So you were 2 years older than me all along, Adolf. Wait, did she not know his, Did he never tell her what age he was? You know, before we learned that he was a normal human? Is that what she was referring to? Because Therese is like 18, I believe. Whatever. He was in a very bad state, but he was still able to converse, and I didn't see any symptom from the curse. It made me realize once again that what Capuchin realized was true.
案外普通に話しかけてくるんだな。
I didn't expect you to keep talking to me like this. His conscience must be getting clearer. Adolf looked at me and said,
失望させたかと思った。
I thought I'd let you down. Of course not. What makes you think that?
俺はお前を裏切ってたんだぞ。
I betrayed your trust, you know? When did this happen? I don't recall you ever betraying me.
俺が今まで
I've been.
守るという名目でお前につきまとう不幸の正体を暴こうとしなかったのは。
I've been saying I'll protect you. And I haven't tried to uncover the truth behind the curse because...
自分の正体を隠し通したかったからだ。
I wanted to hide my identity from everyone.
もし調査の一環でお前のそばにいながら一度も発作を起こさない俺のことを調べられたら。
If during that investigation, someone looked into my resistance from the curse despite being around you,
国外の人間であることが簡単に暴かれると思って。
they might have found out that I actually wasn't from this country. And if people found out, they would not have reacted kindly. He might have been used in experiments far sooner. Which is why he always avoided doctors and hospitals, and would always make a run for it when it was time for checkups. Adolf's explanation put the strange behavior from before into perspective. The fact that he was the only living citizen who was born in another country meant he couldn't fully trust the rest of us. That's why Adolf was always distant and kept to himself whenever possible. As someone who had been protected by him since the beginning, I could only imagine what he had been through all alone.
お前を守りたいという気持ちは本物だ。
My desire to protect you is real.
だがそんな自己保身の感情の方が俺にとってははるかに大きかった。
But my instincts to survive and protect myself were much greater. Repentance, regrets, self-blame, sorrow.
だから俺は自分の人生を守るために
So in order to preserve my life,
お前から幸福という夢を見る権利を取り上げ偽りの平穏だけで満足させようと狭い世界に閉じ込めていた。
I took away your right to dream a happy future and tried to satisfy you by closing you in a peaceful world made of lies. I could feel the ebb and flow of Adolf's emotions from his voice.
挙句の果てには俺を先に死なせたくないと願うお前に本当のことを打ち明けもせず
In the very end, I couldn't even tell you the truth to comfort you when you told me you didn't want me to die.
カプシーヌの言う通り呪いさえ解ければ全て隠し通せると最後まで口をつぐもうと
Like Capuchin said, I was planning on keeping everything a secret, even after the curse was gone.
兄だなんて我ながら笑わせるお前にどれだけ恨まれても仕方ない
Some brother I am. However much you hate me, I deserve it. You know, Adolf was expressing to me the regrets he carried through life until this point. You make it sound like it wasn't happy in your closed world. Is that really for you to decide? A bit of anger welled up inside me. After meeting Anko and Yves, I was able to interact with the world like I hadn't done before. And it was fun. If I had only tried to change my outlook and tried to do this sooner, then maybe I might have liked myself in this country more. I might have been able to discover happiness in a different way by now. But don't try to say that I wasn't happy at all. Even if every day wasn't filled with happiness.
今日からここがお前の家で俺はお前の兄だ
This is your home from now on, and I'm your foster brother.
言っておくが不幸な身の上だろうがひいきはしないここに所属する子供はみんな平等だからな
But I'm not gonna give you a special treatment just because you got a sad story. All the kids here have been through the crap.
お前は運が悪いだけのどこにでもいる
People down on their luck are everywhere you look.
普通の小娘なんだからな
You're just a normal girl.
そこの誰も手をつけてない飯よこせ食材がもったいないからな俺が食べる
Hand me that plate, would you? Can't let good food to go to waste.
まあアドルフにだけ追加があるなんてずるい私にもお裾分けしてくれる
My, it's unfair if only Adolf gets extras for himself. Won't you share some with me too?
でも本当に
Must say,
あなたが作ってくれた料理は優しくて温かい味でいくらでも食べられそうだわ
the meals you cook have such a gentle, heartwarming taste. I could eat them forever.
ねアドルフ
Right, Adolf?
こいつの作った飯がうまいのはとっくに分かってたことだろ今さら確認する必要もない
Everyone already knows her food's good. There's no need to keep talking about it.
明日俺は施設を出る毎日のように会うことは難しくなるだろうが
I'm gonna be leaving soon. I can't come back every day to see you guys, but
辛い時や苦しい時はいつでも俺を呼べどんな状況でだって駆けつけてやる
call me if anything happens. Or if something's bothering you. I'll come get you no matter the situation.
誰に何と言われようがお前は俺にとって
I don't give a damn what others say about you.
この世で最も守りたいと願う大切な家族なんだからな
You're my family. And the person I want most to protect in this world. You gave my life so much happiness. People may see me as a girl of misfortune, but I don't want you to think of me that way. Otherwise, it means that the happiness you and Mother gave me was all a lie.
セレス。
I'm happy I met you, Adolf. I want to live in a future where we're together. It's all I need to be happy. I tried my best to smile, so that he would believe me. Adolf's dark and cloudy eyes shook for a moment, before they regained their brilliance. The light in his eyes was golden, like my hair, and reflected my smiling face inside. My eyes were warm, and I smiled gently with a gentle blush on my cheeks. Thank goodness I was actually smiling. A smile that wasn't faked. One that came from happiness that I was sure even he could see. But he responded in a manner I didn't expect.
好きだ。
Of course you do, though. I love you. It was a sudden but powerful voice. A confession of love from his heart. What? I couldn't help but think I misheard him.
お
So cute. Like he just realized what he said. Adolf seemed more startled than I was by his sudden confession. The expression on his face suggested that the truth had spilled out before he even realized. I wondered why. I love you. Those 3 words he said out of the blue. They sharply and strongly pierced my heart. So much that looking at Adolf's face from where he rested on my lap was embarrassing. Adolf, when you say love, can I take it to mean the same as a man might say to a woman?
違う。
It's...
くそ。一生言うつもりはなかったのに。
Damn it, I wasn't gonna say that to you. He almost denied it, but seemed to resign himself to the fact that he had already revealed his emotions. Adolf ruffled his hair with a complicated expression on his face. So, you really mean it?
二度も言わせるな。
We will, we should. Say it again. Please. Don't make me say it twice. But until now, you've always called me your foster sister.
とっくに一人の女として見ていたって前に言ったろ。
I told you before that I've seen you differently for a long time, remember? I looked away from his eyes, feeling regretful about getting a little angry at him earlier. But why me? Since when? Adolf let out a sigh and said that I really didn't know when to quit.
2年前、
2 years ago,
お前を最初で最後に死神と呼び蔑んだ。
after
あ
the
の時からだ。
after the first and last time I called you death. Technically, not the last time, because you said it once in one of our arguments earlier. So technically... 2 years ago? Adolf was actually 25 now, which meant 23 years. The same age that people in this country died from the curse?
俺がお前にどれだけひどいことを言ったか覚えてるか？
Well, it's like this is the true roots, and it's the power of love that's gonna heal the country's curse. Oh gosh. Imagine. If they do, I'm gonna be a little disappointed, but hopefully that one makes sense, so... Do you remember the horrible things I said to you back then? I remember the words you said to me, but I wouldn't call them horrible. You were so distraught that I wasn't sure what had gotten into you back then. Thinking that it was best left alone, I didn't bother asking him much about it after that.
わからなくて当然だろ。
Of course he wouldn't have known.
俺は教えることのできない理由でお前に辛く当たったんだ。
I was being harsh toward you because of something I couldn't say. Adolf exhaled slowly.
セレス。俺の八つ当たり同然の恨みを何も言わずに受け止めてくれたお前の優しさに救われたんだ。
It was your kindness and accepting the unreasonable resentment I felt that saved me. Interesting. He calmly began to tell me about the time in the past his heart was stolen by death. Capuchin made it sound like I was some divine being, the second drifter. But that title had more worth than I do. In reality, I was just a normal human, born in one of the countries near Apachel. Like I told you, my parents were scum. My country was involved in a huge war that led to its downfall, and the birth rate was drastically reduced. My parents used that to their advantage and kept having babies. Those demons then sold the babies to the wealthy at exorbitant prices, as well as research centers. My older siblings were all sold before I even met them. I was the last to be born, and destined to be sold in the same manner. Whether it was luck or not, I was born average, with an expressionless demeanor, and there was no one who would pay such a high price for me. Of course, the longer I lived without a buyer, the more they spent in feeding me, which those bastards wouldn't tolerate.
つゆほどの金にもならないあんたに居場所なんてどこにもない。
Someone as worthless as you isn't welcome here.
お前よりももっといい値段になる娘が生まれればよかったもの。
These people are crap. If only you were never born. A daughter would have fetched a higher price.
あんたみたいな生まれながらのカスは一人惨めに死ぬのがお似合いよ。
You deserve to die miserable and alone for being so useless. They went to the trouble of preparing a boat. They tossed me aboard and sent me out into the ocean, near the land possessed by death. Okay, so people outside actually do know that this country exists. Okay, I was curious about that, actually. I thought it was just an unknown country, which is why... Well, I guess if we are known and known as the country of death, no one would want to come by, so... But I wasn't aware if people on the outside actually knew that the country of the Upper Chell existed. The deadly ocean pulled the boat in itself, taking me along with it. Within seconds, I knew that I would die. I figured I was better off dead than being used by those two lowlifes. I wasn't welcome there. If only I had never been born. I deserved to die miserable and alone. The last words my parents said to me were too much to endure.
一人で死にたくない。
I don't want to die alone. If I was gonna die, I didn't want to die in the cold, dark ocean. I wanted to be warm. I wanted someone to watch over me. Those feelings alone were what moved me to fight the waters until I lost consciousness. It turned out that my wish actually came true.
あらあら、
Oh my.
こんなところで水遊び？男の子だし、やんちゃなのは結構だけれど。
Playing in the water out here? Boys certainly will be boys, won't they?
一人では危ないし、怖いでしょ？
It must be scary, being out here all alone.
だから、これからは私がそばにいて一緒に遊んであげる。
So, why don't I play by your side from now on? That line's... For some reason, that line unnerves me.
あなたのお名前は？私はね、
What is your name? I am...
シスターサロメ。今日からあなたのお母さんになる女よ。
Sister Salome. I will be a mother from now on. I was fortunate enough to reach Upper Chell, where Mother found me and took me in. Later, Mother was surprised to learn that I had actually come from the outside country. In the end, she told me to keep my background a secret and raised me at the orphanage as her foster son. At first, I wasn't sure why she told me that I needed to hide my identity. The reason was simple. What was normal to me was something abnormal in Upper Chell. It didn't take me long to realize that. After all, I saw people dying at 23 years of age. I saw those who died come back to life in artificial bodies. Those were things completely foreign to me. Even our foster mother didn't age at all from the day she took me in. I saw people vomiting blood and dying out in the open. I saw a guy drop dead and get carried off to Cernaval, then return days later like nothing happened. I found myself trapped in a terrifying country. I kept having nightmares and would vomit each time I woke up. I ended up not being able to sleep at all, but it was far better than dying alone out in the ocean. So I did what I could to make this place my home and try to get used to the death that consumed this country. It was secluded from the outside world, so there was no telling what would happen if someone found out I was from there,
年齢から身元を勘ぐられる可能性もあるし、少しごまかしておきましょうか。
It's possible someone may suspect you based on your age. So let's make you as young as we can. Mother's help and guidance brought me a couple of years, and I kept my interactions with others to a bare minimum. Through that, I was able to fit in without being suspicious, even though some people disliked my unfriendly attitude.
つゆほどの金にもならないあんたに居場所なんてどこにもない。
Someone as worthless as you isn't welcome here.
お前よりももっといい値段になる娘が生まれればよかったもの。
I hope these people perish. If only you were never born. A daughter would have fetched a higher price.
あんたみたいな生まれながらのカスは一人惨めに死ぬのがお似合いよ。
Deserve to die miserable and alone for being so useless. Every time the topic of living and dying came up, my parents' words flashed in my mind, and an indescribable emptiness overtook me. People here died just like that, then came back to life in the same way. Their careless attitude toward life? It was difficult to figure out despite my own unattachment to living. One reason was probably my fear of reliable technology. No matter how many times I questioned myself, I couldn't find a reason to cling to extending my life artificially. In the end, I decided to refuse reviving into a reliver.
誰も俺を必要としないのは分かってる。
You know, no one wants or needs me.
この国に来た以上、自分だって23歳になれば死ぬのだから。
Now that I'm here, I'm probably gonna die at 23 years old too.
穏やかに息を引き取れる死に場所を用意して。
And that's why he
そこで
has
死の
a house so far out, in the middle of nowhere. Well, not in the middle of nowhere, just on the outskirts. But that's why, that explains that. Or gives further insight on why. But there is still no insight on why he has his bed and a damn fireplace. I will cling to that throughout the entire playthrough. Because it just makes no sense. I guess I'll just find a place where I can die in peace. I saw that as a better end than meaninglessly prolonging life. After making that decision, I did what I could to help Mother at the orphanage, since I had made up my mind to die there. I didn't ask for anything. I did chores and no one else wanted to. And I gave my servings of food to the kids who were hungry. I started to work and make money, which I gave to Mother, who kept telling me to use the money on myself. I sought to become a reliable brother, who looked after things at the orphanage. I believed that this would be the place where I could die, as I wanted to out in the ocean. I did what I could for 13 years, making sure I didn't do anything wrong. When I reached 18, I started thinking about getting a full-time job to help support the orphanage.
死神と呼ばれ迫害されている女の子を引き取ってあげたいの。
There's a young girl I want to take in, who is being persecuted by everyone as death. Mother approached me with her new wish. Even though I didn't believe stupid rumors like that, I wasn't looking forward to living with someone so creepy. Of course, I always put Mother first. So after reluctantly agreeing, I went to the orphanage where you were staying. But when I arrived, I was told that you were chased out, and had been missing ever since. I started feeling sorry for you. But I thought Mother would give up if I told her what happened and made my way home. But then... No, I can't. I want to die before I kill someone again. Again, I wasn't sure if I was in luck or not. But I found you crying in an alley as I passed by. The only alley in the entire nation of Apachel. That was how I found you, Cerez. After we met, I just couldn't turn my back on you.
なんだ。どんな恐ろしいやつかと思えば、ただのガキじゃないか。
Man, I thought you looked scary or something. But you're just a little kid. Who are you? Are you deaf? Have you come to kill me?
そんな不吉な存在と一緒にされてたまるか。
Not some monster. So don't treat me like one.
俺は何の能力も取り柄もない普通の人間だ。
I don't have any special powers. I'm just a normal human.
お前と同じな。行き場がないならうちに来い。お前を迎えたいと願う人がいる。
That means we're the same. So if you got nowhere to go, come with me. There's someone who wants to see you. Huh? With no other choice in my mind, I took you back to the orphanage. That's right. Back when we first met.
お前を疎ましく思ってたんだ。
I thought you were a nuisance.
とにかくおとなしくしててくれ。
I just wanted you to behave yourself.
お前のもたらす不幸とやらに俺の死に場所になる場所を巻き込むな。
I didn't want you spreading your bad luck to the place where I was planning to die.
表向きは妹を守るいい兄を演じながらずっとそんなことを考えてお前を逐一監視していたよ。
So I did what I could to act like a nice brother, protecting his little sister, all while keeping an eye on you.
続々と熱に倒れる者が出てきた時はなんて子供を引き取ってしまったんだと後悔したな。
Later, when some of the kids and staff at the orphanage got sick, I regretted that I brought you there.
今思えば随分自分勝手な話だ。
Thinking about it now, it was pretty selfish. Kind of was.
今度こそ失望したか。
No. Finally sick of me now? I shook my head in response. If you saw me as a nuisance, why did you end up loving me anyway?
まあ数ヶ月も一緒に暮らせばお前が善良な子供だってことはすぐに分かったからな。
Well, spending a few months with you was good enough for me to tell you that you were a good kid. Oh, Adolf! Well, this is for you. I saved up some money from helping Mother and bought you this. I heard you're planning to join the corps. That means you're gonna be fighting a lot, right? So I was hoping a dagger like this would help protect you from danger. You were scared I might push you away. Yet you always stuck near and looked up to me. Oh, but I guess you won't want to use a dagger that death gave you because it's unlucky.
そんなこと一言も言ってない。
Come on, I never said that.
ありがたく受け取る。折れるまで、いや、たとえ折れても大切に使うからな。
Thanks for getting this. I'll use it until... No. Even after it breaks. I'll keep using it.
何かあればすぐに俺を呼べ。お前からもらったこの探検で守ってやる。
Call me if you need anything. I'll protect you with this dagger you gave me.
俺だけは何があってもこいつを死神と呼ばず守ってやろう。
I'll be the one to protect her and never call her death.
見取られたいと願う存在が増えるのはこんなにも嬉しいことなのか。
And I'm glad she'll be another person to watch over me when I die. My avoidant nature disappeared at some points and left me with my love for my little sister. But 5 years later, my emotions were completely upended. I began living on my own, then carried the torch to become the leader of the corps. I became friends with a few trusted members like Yves and Hugo, but I also began to have my doubts about my body around that time I turned 21. Those around my age began to get sick and exhibit symptoms of the curse, with some even dying before 23. Why was my body so impervious to the effects of the curse? Late at night before my 23rd birthday, I felt uneasy and started reading through the books about existence of a human being from the outside world named Drifter. According to what I read, it seemed he shared wisdom with the people before ultimately disappearing. There was no mention of his whereabouts, or whether he died or not.
おかしい。
This is strange. This person made it known to the public that he was from the outside of the country.
なぜわざわざ行方をくらませた？迫害を恐れてのことなら流れ着いた時点でとっくに。
Why did he disappear? If he was afraid of being mistreated, he would have gone into hiding upon arrival.
まさか海外からやってきた人間には。
Wait a minute. Are people who come from outside impervious to the effects of the curse? My assumption was right. The wall clock in my room hit midnight. I could hear it congratulating me with its ticking as I lived past my 23rd birthday. The sound confirmed something. It confirmed that I had just wasted years of planning and preparing for my own death. I could live past 23 years, decades longer. That was enough to plummet me into despair.
ふざけるな！
Damn it!
俺が一体何のために今まで生きてきたと。
What the hell have I been doing all my life? If I couldn't die now,
こんな虚しい人生をまだ数十年も続けろっていうのか！
stuck living this hollow life? I'm supposed to keep going for decades? Worse. If people found out that I survived, they might run experiments on me. If I didn't want that to happen,
老いて死ぬまで一人で人の目から隠れて生きなければならないだと。
I'm going to have to live alone, hiding from everyone until I die of old age. I didn't want that to happen. That was the whole reason I planned for my death. Like this. The thought of it was unbearable.
ならいっそこの場で
Then I should just... Before I knew it, I pulled out the dagger that you gave me, Saras.
結局あのクズどもの予言通り
It was just like those bastards told me.
一人孤独に死ぬことになったな
I would die miserable and alone. All my hard work over the years was for nothing. The idea that an outsider like me could ever find a place in this country was wrong all along. Although nearly all my strength had left me, I gripped the hilt and prepared to plunge the blade into my throat. When suddenly... Adolf? What are you doing? You snuck out of the orphanage to make sure that you were the first one to wish me a happy birthday, which interrupted my suicide. Sensing something was wrong, you rushed toward me as I was slumped on the floor and... Has something bad happened?
あ
I didn't have it in me to act like a proper older brother. I was disappointed that I couldn't die, but he looked at me with innocent eyes. Were you about to kill yourself?
あ
Is it because of me?
あ
I raised my head, hearing some strange questions between my lifeless responses. I know I've hurt a lot of people because I'm deaf. I'm sure I was the one who caused whatever is making you sad. What you said was totally stupid and outrageous. But I was already at my limits. So I ended up believing what you said.
そうだきっとお前のせいだ
That's right. I bet it's all your fault. I raised my shaking voice out of unreasonable anger.
本来なら俺は今ここで死ぬはずだったんだ
I was supposed to die here and now.
なのにお前のような死神が現れたから俺の運命が狂ったんだ
Then death appeared. You're the one who messed up my fate.
暖かな場所で眠りにつきたいただそれだけのために
I wanted a warm place to finally rest in peace. That's all I ever wanted.
俺はこのおぞましい国で他人の顔色を伺いながら必死に生きてきたのに
I spent my whole life afraid of the people around me, preparing for my own death in this disgusting country.
お前のせいでお前さえいなければ
It's all your fault! If only you weren't here! As I vomited out blood, my hatred, rage, was unleashed on a young and helpless girl. To someone like you, knowing nothing of my circumstances, my outburst was no different from being stabbed in the heart. But still, you... I know. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. You're absolutely right. It's all because I'm deaf. You gave in too easily. I know it's all my fault, so... If you're suffering, don't hold back your tears. There's no need for you to be kind to death. I've caused you enough misfortune as it is. You tried your best to choose your words, Res. When I realized what I had done, I bit down on my lips so hard that I felt like it bled.
嫌いだ。お前なんて
I hate you.
俺にこんな醜い感情を吐き出させた。お前が
I hate you for making me spew out these disgusting emotions.
俺だけは
I...
お前を死神なんて罵るまいと誓っていたのに。
I even promised I would never call you Death. I know. Thank you. I knew exactly what it was like to be unwanted. And I swore that I would never inflict the same pain upon you. Yet somehow, I was taking all my anger out on a girl I vowed to protect. It's strange. For some reason, it doesn't hurt when you call me Death, Adolf. So don't worry about me. If anything happens in the future, you can hate me all you want. Adolf, you're a very kind person. I know even when something bad happens, you don't blame anyone else. Starting to make more sense.
本当にお前は
Damn it.
どこまでも自虐的な
Why are you
女だよ。
such a self-loathing girl? But that was what saved me. You accepted all my unjust resentments, believing yourself to be Death when you did nothing wrong. It was the last time I saw you as a young girl.
セレス、お前に男として惚れ込んだんだ。
Ceres, that night I fell in love with you as a man.
そして同時に誓った。
And deep down I swore. My ears shook inside with joy that made me want to scream.
もう二度とお前を死神と呼ぶまい。
That I would never call you Death ever again.
俺をみっともなく泣かせた。優しくてひどいこの女をあらゆる危険から守り抜こう。
That I protect the kind and horrible girl who made me cry from any and all danger. His confession was filled with tender emotions. But my body stiffened, and I was very conscious of his head resting on my lap. I never knew this was what you were thinking back then, Adolf. So, Adolf really was in love with me.
告白の返事はいらねえ。今言ったことは全部忘れろ。
You don't need to respond to it or anything. Just forget everything I said. Adolf sat up while I was cupping my warm cheeks with my hands. Huh? But why?
もともと思いを告げるつもりはなかった。お前にはもっとふさわしい相手がいる。
I wasn't planning on confessing my love to you. You deserve a better guy than me.
お前だって今さら俺から男として意識してくれなんて言われても困るだろ。
Besides, it's unreasonable for me to want you to see me as a man after we lived together for so long. Adolf's expression was calm as he dried the blood on his forehead with his sleeve. It was true, I couldn't get myself to answer his confession at a time like this, but... We don't need to think. There is no thinking. We know what we want. But this doesn't want to let me. There we go. Okay. But I should save anyway. Oh, we did something right. Yay. We haven't done anything right in a long time. We're most definitely gonna get the wrong bad ending. I still want to respond to it.
Huh?
I hadn't gotten a chance to say anything to him, but he was already cutting the conversation short. That really wasn't fair. It's true that, like you said, it's probably not the time to respond now. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna just forget what he told me. If those words really came from your heart, Adolf, then I want to reply to you properly. Even if my response is something simple like thank you or I'm sorry. Because of that, I'll need some time to see you as someone other than family. But it's something I want. I'll do my very best so I can respond to you soon. Can you also try not to forget about what you said? I don't know whether this feeling is familiar love or romantic love, but I do know Adolf is someone special. Someone I don't want to see leave me behind. That much I know for sure.
そうか。
I see.
あの男が相手というのは気に食わないが、それが君の絶望に立ち向かう糧となるなら、その思いを大事にするといい。
I do not like the idea of that man as your partner, but if it helps you fight despair, you should cherish those feelings. I wasn't gonna let Adolf continue, seeing himself like an outsider. I remembered Akko's advice and spoke carefully once again, and Adolf let out a sigh.
そんなお人よしだから、俺みたいな勝手な男に惚れられるんだ。
Probably, yeah. You get selfish guys like me falling for you because you're too nice. Look who's talking. Adolf, you have to hear my reply, so don't do anything reckless. We'll work together to stop Capuchin's plan and return to Mother. No, you don't want to return to Mother. I think I've been so frustrated, not being able to help you. I gently touched the poorly wrapped bandage around Adolf's arm as I told him what I was feeling. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that hurt?
いや。
No. Without any warning, Adolf began to move the arm I just touched up and down.
逆だ。思ったより傷が痛んでないことに驚いた。
It's the other way around. I'm surprised how much it doesn't hurt.
さっきまでは動くのも辛かったはずなんだが。
Strange, because it was hurting so bad I could barely move it earlier. Maybe it's because you had some time to rest?
かもな。
I guess. Fortunately, the tests weren't gonna resume until his wounds healed. This gave Adolf a chance to recover, and perhaps an opportunity for us to make our escape. I'm so sorry I haven't been able to rescue you yet, Akko. Maybe he knew Adolf actually loved me. The Watchman of Death, who seemed to know of Adolf's feelings for me, was worrying me quite a bit. The fact that his cells were being used in Adolf's experiments meant that his body was still being cut and extracted. Even if he's immortal, surely he must have a limit. Just thought of something. If anyone's seen the live-action One Piece, for a second, an image flashed of basically, like, you know, Buggy, but it's Anko. So, Anko's head's just there in front of the scientists, like, sass-talking them as they experiment on his, the remaining of his body. That's a dark but entertaining scene to imagine. I want to see Anko sass talk him. Sass talk them. Okay, anyway, back to story. If he's in worse state than when I last saw him, he'll need medical attention. Come to think of it, he did say that he could recover his health by returning to Hades. Once we rescued him, he might use that strange power of his to disappear. Hades, Watchman of Death.
どうした？突然考え込んで。
What's the matter?
まさか閉じ込められている間にカプシーヌに何かされたのか？
Don't tell me Capuchin did something to you while you were captive. No. Wait. What was that? Something just came to mind that didn't seem to make sense. Hmm? 2 days later. The day that I would be presented as the Lycaris saint soon to be martyred had arrived. The main area in front of the Institute was open to the public so that they could hear the royal family speech. They used the same floating screens as in the Institutes to make sure my image could be seen by the audience at the very back. In addition, the speech would be amplified throughout the entire country. Adolf was left inside a prison cell as a hostage, and would also be watching the speech. I told him about the escape route that Donut shared with me while we were both jailed, but I'd better double check one more time. As soon as the speech was over, I was gonna say that I felt sick from the tension and head down the route to the medical room. Once the Royal Guard soldiers and doctor went inside, I'd use Donut's hair to activate the system and lock them inside. Once done, I would quickly head to Science Laboratory to save Anko. We would both go to the cell where Adolf was detained, then we'd all escape from the back door. The Royal Guard would be focused on the security of the royal family, and Capuchin would be announced as the new director. So the security shouldn't be too strict today. The plan's still easier said than done. One wrong move, and I'd be putting Adolf and Anko's lives at risk. So failure wasn't an option. I was at the entrance of the institute. Seeing me grab my chest where I hid Donut's hair, the king leading the way gave a sinister smile.
そう緊張するな、聖女よ。民に意向を示すは我らが役目。貴様は黙って立っていればいい。
No need to be nervous, dear saints. The people have come to see their prestigious rulers, so you need only stand silently.
この役目さえ終われば、貴様もあの第二の漂流者と同じ実験体だ。
Once this is over, you will become our second test subject. Just like that second drifter. I simply closed my eyes in response and took a deep breath. Only a select few royals would be present, with the rest remaining inside the castle.
いや、強行ですね。あの男が現れてくれたおかげで実験が格段に進んだと彼も先日の茶会の場で歓喜しておりましたよ。
We must be blessed. He told us at a tea party that the man's participation had led to significant advancements in the experiments.
不老不死の実現もそう遠くはない。
Our dream will surely come true any moment. Capuchin, the he that was mentioned, looked on from afar with a smile on his face. I don't like being looked at, but I can't let these evil people have the satisfaction.
時間だ。国王陛下の後に続け。妙な気は起こすなよ。
It's time. Follow behind Our Majesty. Don't even think about doing anything. If the truth was revealed, Adolf's safety would be compromised. I nodded silently at the soldier's warning and took a deep breath before stepping outside of the institute. Suddenly, the ground shook from the voices of the masses. There were people all over the place. Everyone began to cheer, seeing me appear after the king.
リコリスの聖女、どうかその命で我らをお救いください。
No. Like we're saying, please save us with your life.
我らアルペシェールの民はあなたの献身と犠牲を未来永劫忘れはしません。
We, the people of Arpachel, will never forget your compassion and sacrifice. Screw you. They all wanted my death. I felt a chill run down my spine. No matter how much they pretended to revere me, all they wanted was for me to die. I thought I had grown accustomed to all the blame and hatred that the citizens expressed to me. Hearing their desperate cries now, knowing what they were really feeling deep down inside, was somehow even more frightening. The soldiers nudged my trembling body from behind and pushed me next to the king, who was protected on all sides by guards. Suddenly, through my bangs, I could see a familiar face in the crowd. Is that Hugo? I think there's a corpse around him too. I think they're coming to save Adolf. Yes! Although, I doubt it's gonna work, unfortunately. At least not this playthrough. But that's the intention, so yes. They're not wearing their usual uniforms, but I could tell who they were after seeing them with Adolf. They all had a stern look on their faces, and didn't seem very interested in hearing about the miracle from the king. Which meant maybe they're here to save their leader, Adolf. If so, this was great news. With the corp's help, we might be able to get Adolf out of the cell sooner than planned. I thought about how to send them a silent message of our plans when... The king cleared his throat. Suddenly, the people's enthusiasm settled down into silence. Every single person in Alberchel was focused. They were waiting to hear what the king and I were about to say. Finally, the king would be preaching about the false salvation for the royal family's gain. Something wasn't right. I could hear something from one side, like droplets of water falling to the ground. Just as I was thinking that maybe I was starting to drizzle. A woman at the front of the crowd suddenly covered her mouth with a gasp. Her expression slowly spread to those around her. Wondering what they were looking at, I turned my head toward the king standing beside me. One of his guards was undercover. Or not. The king was using his fingernails to dig through his clothes and into his chest. Instead of preaching about the miracle of the people's oncoming salvation, dark red blood slowly began dribbling from his mouth and falling to his feet like sticky mud. His body then began to bloat, deforming it, and he turned into a mass of flesh, spewing blood as he collapsed onto the ground. Yeah, I'm confused too. What the heck happened? Orti? Huh? My voice of surprise ran through the speakers around the country and... The audience went into a complete frenzy. It's the real curse of death. She's enraged that they were gonna announce the lifting of the curse.
なんだよ、あのひどい死に様。俺たちまで巻き込まれてたまるか。
You see how he died? I'm not getting myself killed like that.
聖女様が呪いを消してくれるんじゃなかったの?
I thought the saint was gonna break the curse for us. No. No one's doing shit for you guys. The people stormed the exits in an effort to escape from the area. But really, how did that happen? Because even with Cereza's emitting toxins and whatnot, it doesn't have that effect. I can only assume something was injected into the king, like... He... Or maybe the king got like greedy and took a bite of a anko or something? Or a not finished version of the immortality concoction or whatever? And that led to this happening? That would make the most sense. The soldiers were trying to manage the crowd, but witnessing the horrifying death was more than enough for them to run for their lives. What just happened? Wait. Is this your doing, Capuchin? There was no escaping from this chaos and confusion.
そんなわけがないだろう。私はこの場で新所長に任命される予定だったのだぞ。
Of course not. I was supposed to be named a new director today. Capuchin and one of the younger members of the royal family came running to me with pale faces as I stood there in confusion. Then what happened to the king?
こちらが聞きたいぐらいだ。まさかあなたが陛下に毒を持ったのでは。
That's what we'd like to know. Don't tell me you actually poisoned the king so that... You... Yay! An actual curse is happening upon the royal family. Yay! I don't know how, but I'm happy. Does this make me a horrible person? Maybe. Before I could pin the blame on me, the young man vomited blood and became another lifeless body. I looked around and saw the other royals all showing the same symptoms and dropping down on the ground one by one.
これは
Wait.
呪いの末期症状にメモリークラッシュ、それに細胞分裂の暴走の同時発生。
Oh, maybe it is Soraz. I don't remember anyone turn into like a pile of flesh and whatnot. Terminal symptoms? The memory crash? An abnormal rate of cell division are all happening at once?
まずありえん。どれもまだアドルフ君による試験中で、王族には誰一人として施していないというのに。
Are you sure about that? Why? This is impossible. None of the royal family went through any treatment since it's still in testing with Adolf.
教祖様、急ぎ研究所内へ避難を。城内に残る王女たちに指示を仰げましょう。
Minister, please step into the institute. We should let the princess know and ask for her instructions.
ああ、わか。
Yes, let's...
残念ながら君たちを導く尊きお方はもう誰一人として残っていませんよ。
Unfortunately for you, those who was supposed to lead you are no longer alive. I heard a voice coming from the screen above, but it didn't sound human at all. Next was the screeched sound of scratching metal, making Capuchin and the soldiers wince and cover their ears. My ears were ringing as I took the opportunity to run inside the institute.
貴様、待て！
Hey, wait! Of course the royal family wasn't gonna let me escape so easily. But stampeding crowds acted as enough of a diversion, as they clamored for help from the soldiers. After getting inside, I used Donut's hair to lock the entrance. Perhaps the same happened at the castle, as I didn't see any of the royal guard around. Our plan isn't going as expected, but this is our chance to escape. I recalled the map of the institutes and quickly ran through the facility toward my destination. The entire place was desolate, and I soon arrived in front of Science Laboratory. The heavy security was easily bypassed using Donut's hair, exactly as he explained.
特別権限によりロックが解除されました。ただし滞在可能時間は10分となりますのでご注意ください。
Warning, maximum allotted time is 10 minutes. Okay, thank you. I thanked the inorganic voice and quickly ran inside the room. Thank you, Siri. The place was littered with lab coats, and Happy just ran along with the valuable books and papers. I saw Adolf's confiscated sword and, next to it, Adolf's dagger. Anko must have returned it to him. I grabbed both the dagger and sword. I also noticed a small transmitter that Cyan was probably using, so I took that with me too. Good smart. Anko, if you're here, please answer me. I searched frantically as I called for him. I could hear something at the back of the room. Anko, is that you in there? It is! Oh my gosh! I am just a bottle now. Dang. Oh, head and a solution. Okay. It was his head and some kind of solution that responded to my voice with bubbles. I somehow kept myself from screaming. His body hasn't regenerated. But I thought he would come back to life, even if he was cut in pieces. Something about the liquid must be keeping it from happening. Or maybe it has to do with the liquid. Still, it seemed like he was alive. As I held the capsule in my hands, I could feel his pulse. I tried to break it by slamming it against the wall, but it didn't even scratch. It might actually be faster for me to just take him like this. Suddenly, Anko's head opened its eyes and spoke my name. Startled, I shook with fear, but did my best to regain my calm and look at his face through the glass capsule. Anko, you're awake! I'm so sorry I kept you waiting all this time. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. I'm really sorry. Please, don't forgive me. For some reason, he was apologizing to me. Perhaps still in a hazy state of consciousness, Anko spoke to me like he was dreaming. Even if you return, I'm just gonna make you suffer. I know it. He looked at me with hollow eyes. Then I noticed some black liquid seep out of his eyes into the solution.
それでも
But
ど
I
う
still...
しても俺はお前が生まれてきてよかったと無邪気に笑う姿を
I'm still glad that you were born. Your innocent smile.
一目見たかったんだ
I just wanted to see you again.
たとえ自分の何を犠牲にしてで
Even
も
if I sacrificed everything.
あいつのせいで時間が足りない
It's all his
Hato.
fault.
もう少しで
I don't have enough time. Just a little longer.
完璧な交代が
I could have made
完成するはずだったのに
a perfect antibody. Anko's eyes closed, as if all his remaining strength had been expended. Most of what he said didn't make sense to me. But his voice, the way he spoke was...
滞在可能時間終了まで残り5分。速やかに退去してください。
5 minutes remaining until lockdown.
Fires, man!
Please proceed
Yeah!
to the exits. Hello, Choco! And fires, man, yeah! How you doing? Tired? Long day? What time is it anyway? I don't even know what time it is for me. Not that it really matters, but I guess it's only 1:36. It's still early. Early in the morning. Ugh. Ah. 6 a.m. No. Very no fun. Oh, is it spring break already? I didn't realize. I'm spring break, winter break. Now that I'm not in school, I have no idea when these things are happening. Summer break. Very true now. It's still good. I made myself some boba tea earlier today. A taro flavored. I do have boba. Boba pearls I got at the Asian markets. You just have to cook them for 5 minutes. You can have a sip if you want. I mean, apparently science still has half-eaten bread on the floor. I guess he just likes takes a couple bites of one loaf of bread, throws it on the floor, takes a couple bites of another later, just throws it somewhere random. I could see it. I could see it. It is. It is. It is. But he'll probably just eat it later. That's probably... He has no issues eating moldy bread. Also, I think Uncle just died. I'm not sure, but too many people have died already. Like freaking hell. But hey, the royal family's dead, so I'm happy. So I think that means things are heading in a good direction. Oh, the citizens, I still, they can still burn. They can still burn in the fire. I shook the thought out of my head and quickly carried the capsule of Uncle in my arms. We're holding a head. It's literally the I got a jar of dirt thing. But with Cerez and the head of Uncle in a little capsule thing. We're getting out of here together. I could never be happy if I abandoned you. Oh, he's still alive. Okay, good. I like the music. I actually like the soundtrack in this game. We discovered earlier that the sound of them running through the field of licorices actually has a beat. It's kind of catchy. Adolf, I'm here. Uncle's safe too.
生首だけの状態は無事と言えるのか?
I mean, he has a point, but Anko is immortal, so it's cool. I think. I hope. Are you sure just being ahead is something you call safe? I was surprised that I was able to open the cell without using a key. Because it didn't have the same security system as the Institute's. I thought I could at least try breaking the lock with a dagger. Did the guard forget to lock the cell?
閉じ込められた時から砕けたカプセルの破片を使って少しずつ情を削っておいた。
Oh, smart. Very smart. Good job, Adolf. We happy. We proud of you. We proud of you, boy. I've been using a fragment of the capsule I was in before to chip away at the lock ever since they put me in here. Adolf smiled in a way befitting of the unbefitting of the situation as I handed him the transmitter and his 2 weapons.
行くぞ。カプシーヌたちが戻ってくる前にここから脱出する。
We're gonna go avenge. We need to go avenge Donuts. They killed Donut. I'm sorry for doubting him. I feel so bad for doubting him. We need to get out of here before Cappuccino returns. Right. With Adolf completely back to form, I carried Anko's head in my arms as I followed his lead. We ran away as fast as we could until we finally reached the back door, where I quickly took out Donut's hair. But it was too late.
特別権限によるロック機能が全館同時に解除されました。
Access has been revoked. Unable to access the security lock. Capuchin must have gotten into the security system somehow. It can't be. We were this close.
こうなれば正面突破で。
We need to escape through the front.
その必要はない。
I'm sorry. I know that voice. I know that voice.
俺が外に続く抜け道へ案内してやろう。
Although it could be the copy. But still, I'll show you the way out through a different route. Still. We both looked at each other in surprise, hurried up for Bowie.
みすぼらしい設備だが、スペックはまあそれなり。通信をする分には特に困らんな。
Shabby as this place is, its equipment is functional enough. So at least communication isn't a problem. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes! I'm so happy. I'm sorry. But I'm happy. Does this mean Math is alive too? Because they were apparently dead before.
「あんたみたいなずぶとい男がそう簡単に殺されるわけがないと思ってた。
My hopes weren't in vain. The only thing that would make this better is if Donut was still alive too. And Nadia. Figured a guy like you wouldn't be taken down so easily.
そう言うな。だが俺だけではないぞ。
Our Lord and Savior has risen again. He has risen from the dead. Actually, this might have actually been 3 days later. Actually, I don't know how many days later it is, but Jesus Christ, sign Christ, whatever you have. The Church of Scientology is real. That's our religion here, the Church of Scientology. The Scion, not science. The Scion Brophiestology. But I'm not the only one alive! Oh, is that so? But I'm not the only one alive. Last we saw him, he was lying face down in a pile of blood. Are you two okay?
ご心配おかけしました。見ての通り
ではなく、声の通り僕たちは元気です。
I'm sorry to cause you guys so much trouble. As you can see... Wait, as you can hear, we're all doing fine.
あのさ、
Oh, you're here
ど
too?
うしてもって言うから使わせてやってんの。
Why are you
俺が
alive?
揃えた設備に文句を言わないでほし
Frick
い。
you! Although I guess the only way for Mouths to be alive is for him to be alive. Mm. He's pretty, but I'll never forgive him. Never. Hey, I'm only letting you use it because you asked. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't badmouth this place. Yves, Mathis, and... Is that Eugene? You sound different for some reason. Thank goodness. So everyone's alive!
嬉し泣きは後にしろ、鬱陶しい。今から U ルートにして
No, I won't!
研究所の地下通路。
I won't stop crying. You can't tell me what to do. Stop your crying, you can do that later. What you need to do is listen to me and head to the passage beneath the Institute.
地下通路。
Oh yeah, the underground tunnel. I almost forgot that was like a thing. The underground railway. Let's get out of this place.
ああ、このみすぼらしい執事が通ってきたな。
Yes, it's an underground passage used by this poor soul of a butler.
俺もこいつから聞くまで気づかなかったが、研究所のはるか下にはアルペシエールの各地に張り巡らされている地下通路が存在する。
Oh, so it's not just one. I always assumed it was just one tunnel. But it's a series of tunnels. I never knew until I heard it from him, but there's a series of tunnels throughout Alpachel.
そこを通れば、俺たちが今潜伏しているクロード家の悪趣味な地下室にたどり着けるはずだ。
If you can reach it, you'll be able to make your way to the Claude family's revolting hideout where we're hiding. And it is a revolting place. Seems like I have nothing to say.
じゃあ約束は約束だからちゃんと協力して。
Jean, a promise is a promise. So just hold back.
大事な恋人の遺体を取り返したいんでしょ。
Oh, yes, blackmail! My child is growing up. You do want to see your fiancé's body back, don't you?
わかってる。
Yes! Fine.
こっちにもあれからいろいろあってさ。
We'll explain later.
移動中にでも説明するよ。
So a lot of things happened on our side too. We can explain while you head down.
ひとまずは脱出を優先してください。
First, please focus on getting out of there.
わかった。行くぞ。
Got it. Let's get going. Okay. Sion led us down a quiet wing of the Institute. We discovered a hidden entrance beneath the floor with a ladder leading us deep below the Institute.